Suppose you're out in public and there's this pretty black girl that approaches you. She's kind of hood, but she almost acts like a white person. She's really nice and open-minded, and she's like flirting with you hard. And then you said, oh, why not? You know, you get her number, you talk to her, you plan a date with her, whatever. Like, yeah, I feel really good. It's really uncommon for like a pretty black girl to talk to a white guy. Then you look at what she does on the internet, and this black girl, she's a rapper. She's like kind of this hood, like, you know, sounds like Cardi B, makes rap songs, has a Twitter, fuck honky, all that stuff that comes with like BML shit. But it really doesn't make sense as you're scratching your head as a white man because, oh, why would she be approaching me? So obviously you go along with the date, and the date's amazing, and she's so open-minded and kind and like a Christian woman. In fact, she really likes you and wants to have sex with you immediately. So of course, in any manly desire, you go with that. Now, aside from that story, think about a white girl meeting up with a white guy who's also the same. And let's suppose this girl out in public meets you, or a wonderful white guy who's really nice and amazing, and this girl is swept off her feet about this guy. So then, this white girl goes online and searches the white guy's name, and the white guy is a reactionary red pill YouTuber. He's not a Nazi or anything. He's just like Mobug and points this out on Twitter. Now, would the white girl continue the dates, or would she actually have a hissy fit and say, ew, I can't date racist people? Now, as I said in that 2-minute example, we have the black girl going out with the white guy, and the white girl going out with the white guy. There seems to be a very subtle racial difference between art and the internet and between dating. There's always this fear among white nationalists or red pill people that have to go anonymous in fear that their white women will shout them out as a disgusting individual. And then white men will do anything to please these white women. They'll go on their feet and say, I have an internet problem, I say racist stuff. You know, the internet is an ego that does not correlate with myself. But then again, this is really ironic compared to, say, the black girl that approaches the white guy. The black girl says, fuck, you know, honkies, world star, hip hop, whatever, but she's still interested in the white guy. Now, is this a racial difference and a gender difference? Or is this the concept that, put it this way, if the woman is an activist on the internet and she validates you, I guess that's a good thing. But when the man is an activist on the internet, the woman never validates the man. Is it really white or black? I think it might be a racial difference here. I think most black activist girls really secretly like white men, and all activist white girls only validate you when you have alpha game or some shit. But the activist white girl would fucking hate it if her man she likes is also an activist, because that's problematic. So for the white feminists, it only has to be women who are activists, and any man who does activism should just shut up, they're the patriarchy, bad. But when the POC girl does activism, she does not give a fuck or care what the white man does. In fact, the POC girl validates the white man. It's easier for men to validate the POC girl compared to, say, begging on our knees for this white bitch just because we said black people are different. Long story short, do men actually care about what women post on the internet, as opposed to, do women really care what men post on the internet? If women really cared what you post on the internet, would they always have bitchy complaints about you? Is there a racial difference in that manner? And what if the black woman or POC woman, when a white man does say stuff on the internet, she falls for you, compared to, say, a white woman who hates it? And as men, do we really give a fuck what women say on the internet? It seems like it's only a woman's issue, especially a white woman's issue. And another thing, maybe, just maybe, the whole culture of being anonymous isn't so much have to do with Big Brother tech elite and securing a comfy white-collar job because you're saying racist things on the internet. What if it's an internal issue about what other white peers, especially what white women, think about you? And you cannot care what Asian women, Mexican women, black women, those people think about you. Rather, white people being anonymous on Twitter and YouTube is an issue within what white people think about each other. Hence, if you were brave and you didn't care and you lived in all Mexico or all black neighborhood, you would be the most reactionary red pill social media user ever, and you would still be working at your job. You only become anonymous when you're with white people. Why is that? As white people and within white circles, are white men constantly seeking the validation of their white peers? Hence, they'll go on their knees and say, "I'm not a racist. I'm so sorry. I have a dark side." When you become anti-white and when you leave the white community, you start to ask yourself, what is even whiteness in the first place? And a lot of this Eurocentric blindness is really just white people acting white. The silly concept that you must remain anonymous because Big Brother is going to put you in jail, that you're doing a pseudo-criminal activity, and that one day in world history, you will be celebrated as the social justice activist against the anti-white system because you said a bunch of white nationalist rhetoric online. But the problem is, we know white nationalists are cryptic is not because there's censorship laws and they're running the Underground Railroad for social justice. It's because they literally want genocide, racial genocide, like what we see at National Justice Party. So they're really just having a conversation within white circles. They don't care about what other non-whites think. In fact, non-whites are okay with what they think because that's what non-whites usually think. Non-whites have the privilege of talking about race all the time. And so white people have created this jail that they must remain anonymous at the internet at all times, while non-whites are just open about their identity. Meanwhile, anybody who is a part of the leftist subculture, socialist, even communist, show their face, give their real name, talk everything about race, the Jewish problem, the economy, celebrated and loved by fellow white people. And then how the hell are fascists who remain anonymous supposed to fight against that? That is the arrogant queer culture, why the right will never gain traction. Is because the only way you can gain traction is to be an open, public, honest figure. But what I'm saying is, and back to the black girl dating the white guy story, is that white people, the white nationalists are not anonymous because of their genocidal tendencies. They're anonymous because they're afraid to talk to other white people. Maybe, just maybe, talking to other whites is itself a toxic relationship. And that's what they don't understand. I started to realize my own Eurocentric blindness, that talks of left and right is only the caring interest what other white people think in America. But when you call yourself black, Asian, Mexican, any transracial movement, you are now an ex-white person. And all of a sudden, you are no longer a part of this arrogant subculture looking to paying daily, weekly rent in San Francisco and Manhattan. You quit that bell curve comfy job, and you start to realize how everything is a white superstructure, even how you can't talk about fascism, and how certain white subcultures are advocated. And the right, the political right, could benefit from this, but they're so entwined with race war, being anti-liberal, and saying all this, fascist role play that they don't even read, and they kind of just, they only care about their queer culture of being anonymous Robin Hoods, which is so backwards and gives legitimacy to Antifa to expose these losers. And so that's why, as I said in a video before, what's wrong with Chaz, Antifa and queers is that they are an embodiment of white people and white interest. Antifa is not just like George Soros money-funded group of degenerates. It's literally a form of whiteness. It's what the white upper middle classes do when they listen to hardcore punk records and don't want certain class. It's class antagonism, but it just shows you they don't want the wrong kind of white people in the neighborhood. So, to recap, whites like to censor other whites, and whites are afraid to be open of what other white people think about them. But if you're a white person, a white man, and you don't see yourself white anymore, you will have no fear talking about whatever you want to fear, because you don't see yourself as white, because all your opponents are itself the embodiment of white people and whiteness.
This is Pill Eater, and I recorded this on September 29th, 2021.